Are you? Hope everyone is doing well today. So I wanted to talk with you today about horse racing. You guys know that I am very passionate about racehorses and about horses just in general. So I wanted to talk to you about what I consider our world's greatest athletes. And of course, somebody is at the door, so give me 1 second because my dad is outside helping me clean the patio. Hang on. Can you get that? Thank you. It always happens at the least opportune moment. Someone shows up at the door. Okay, and life goes on, right? Okay, so I got involved with horse racing at a very, very young age. So my parents bought me a horse when I was 3. I learned to ride, and my dad says I ride the hair off a dog. I would ride my horse everywhere, to school, to the drive-through, anywhere you could possibly ride the horse, I would ride the horse. My parents, as an investment, bought a thoroughbred farm in 1981, I think it was. And so it was a training facility for racehorses and a rehab facility for them in Southern California. So here I am, this little girl running around there. I wanted to be a jockey. I wanted to ride the thoroughbreds in the worst way, and my father was just completely paranoid about that because he was worried that I would get hurt. And he says, being a jockey is not a life for a lady. And I said, well, why not? I mean, I'm a great writer. I, do whatever. And he just was not going to allow that to happen. So fast forward to 2008, I decide that it's time to move on with my life from my first husband, and I find this beautiful horse farm in Norco, and I lease it. Well, about 4 months after that, I realized I needed to lose my job too, for different circumstances. I didn't want to pay my husband any more money. The only way to do that is not have a job. So you kind of have to not have a job anymore. But I was unable to feed myself and my family because now I am jobless. But I have this huge horse farm. So we call up a family friend that used to send racehorses to us when my father had his facility years ago. And I meet him for lunch. And he comes and looks at my farm and he says, oh my gosh, you need to bring layups out here immediately. A layup is a horse that is running at the racetrack that will get time off, kind of go to the spa, rest, relax, rehab, or maybe it has an injury and it needs time off to rest and rehab from an injury. So in 2008, I opened up Singing Hills Farm in Norco, California, which is the rehab retirement facility for racehorses. So I start going to the racetrack every morning. I'm there at 5 a.m., Santa Anita, Del Mar, Hollywood Park, wherever the meet is, I'm there every morning at 5 a.m. You have to meet the owners, the trainers, and you have to basically sell your farm to them about them sending you your horses. And our friend that helped me get my business started, he told me that horse racing would change my life. And oh my goodness, has it ever. Horse racing has, that time I met my husband. That's what made my farm successful, and that's what started the part of the industry I'm in now with owning, breeding, and racing more racehorses. So let's talk a little bit about the big elephant in the room. Everyone's heard it on the news for the last 3 years that we're killing racehorses all the time in our industry. Another horse died. This is horrible. Let me explain one thing to you about a horse. Horses are meant to live every day of their life on 4 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not like us. They can't get crutches if they have a fracture or a broken bone that they're unable to bear weight on. In those circumstances, sometimes they do have to be euthanized. I will tell you that there is no one sadder than the one that owns the horse or that trains the horse or that is involved with any animal when those things happen. Fortunately enough, we have great medical today, we have great surgeons, and we do everything we can to fix and repair any injury that ever happens. The racetracks pay for these surgeries. The owners do not have to pay for them because they can be very expensive. And we do them every day because a racehorse, even though if it can't race, doesn't mean that it can't move on to have a different life than barrel racing or jumping or just general riding or as a pasture companion for others. So we do everything we can to make sure that they're taken care of and that they're well. We did have a problem at Santa Anita in the end of 2018, beginning 2019. We had a lot of rain during that time of the year. We hadn't had rain like that in California, in Arcadia, in over 32 years. It was getting down to freezing temperatures in the middle of the night. And a lot of you guys don't know this. I'm going to tell you about this now. Horses live at the racetrack. Okay, they live there. They live on the ground. Their day starts at 4 a.m. They train every morning on that track from 4 a.m. until 10 a.m. That's when the track itself closes. So the racetrack can be groomed, cleaned, and prepared for racing that day. So those horses are on that racetrack, and there's probably 3,000 to 4,000 horses at a time at Santa Anita. So those horses go to the track every single day. Okay, times 30 days, do the math. It's a lot of horses on that same surface every single day. Well, what's happening is when it rains, we take a steamroller over our racetrack and we compress the dirt. This way the water will not seep through and create mud on the bottom. It'll run off the top. Well, in doing so, we were actually creating like a permafrost layer about 8 inches down. And so when a 1,000, 1,200 pound animal is running, its feet will compress in the dirt a good 4 to 6 inches sometimes. So what happens when you do that day after day, you can get what's called a microfracture. And unless you do a nuke scan on someone, you would never know that you have a microfracture until it becomes something more. And when that happens, then it can be catastrophic, where a horse can't race again, or it needs to have time off, etc. So with that being said, that's what happened during that time at Santa Anita. We're not killing horses. We don't shoot them. We don't drug them. We don't do anything like that. That's not how the operation is run, I promise you. The way that it's government mandated now, I mean, they test everything down to the picogram now. That's like 1% of 1/100th of a billion or something. It's incredible what they test for. So all racetracks are their own city. All the people that care for the horses, the grooms, they live right there at the racetrack with the horses. They live in what's called a tack room. They have community showers. It's like camping. They have their own restaurants there, their own shops for shopping and everything. They have their own laundry service. So they live and they stay with the racehorses at the racetrack. Every 4 racehorses gets its own groom, own personal attendant to do nothing but feed it, water it, rub it down, put ice on its legs when it needs it, rub it down with the rubbing mitt, give it a massage, clean its stall, give it a bath. That's the job of the groom. They're there to take care of those particular 4 horses every single day. That's what they do. Each racetrack is also its own bank. So when you decide you want to purchase a racehorse, you have to pick out a trainer. You can pick out, there's hundreds of them. So you find one that you like, you decide, okay, I think I want to get involved with this sport, so I'd like to maybe buy one. A trainer will help you decide whether you want to purchase a horse that is unraced or private party, or you purchase a horse through a claiming race. So basically, you decide how much money you want to invest. Racehorses can be purchased for nothing, and they can be purchased all the way up to millions of dollars. I've seen it all, and I can tell you, the ones that are cheaper can make just as much money as the ones that cost millions, and I've seen it happen. People spend $50, $60 million on a horse, never wins a penny. That's just the industry and how it works. So if you decide you want to buy one, you take whatever amount of money you want to put in, we take it to the racetrack and we put it in the bank. It's your bank account, okay? We can't touch it, nobody can. You get an owner's license. It's like a driver's license with your picture on it. You know, have an owner's license and a bank account. Your trainer will pick out your racehorse for you. When it becomes ready in a race, it's called a claiming race. The day that that horse will run in that race, your trainer will go to the racetrack. He will fill out a claim ticket. It's a 3x5 card. It's real technical. You write the horse's name on there, the race that it's in. Your trainer will go down, look at the horse in the paddock before the race is run. He has to put that claim ticket in the claim box before the race runs for that racehorse. He drops his ticket in the box, and then you wait for the race to run. Now, whatever happens to that horse during that race, if it wins first, second, third, or it loses, all the money and proceeds go to the owner of the horse. After the race, they have what's called the claim. And you guys have to see it to believe it, but literally they take a Parcheesi shaker and they put the little itty bitty pills in there, and they have numbers on them, 1 through 10. They take all the claim tickets out of the box. If there's more than one person trying to claim the same horse in that race. Then they number the cards, 1, 2, and 3. They put 3 pills in the Parcheesi shaker. They shake it up, they pour it out. Whatever pill comes out first with that number on it, that correlates with that card, and that's the person that gets the horse. Now that horse now belongs to you. Your money from your account at Santa Anita gets transferred into that previous owner's account. He's paid for the horse, and now you want a racehorse. So now you're talking with your trainer about the next race that it's going to run and what level you're going to run it at and how much money it can make for you. So that's pretty much how you claim one and how you make the purchase. But you pay a day rate for training for a racehorse. So trainers charge all the way from $50 up to $120 per day to train a racehorse. Just depends on where you're at and what level you want to get into. And you have to pay for the vet work on that horse if it has any vet needs during that month. And then also the shoes. They have to have special race plates to be able to run at the racetrack. So I will tell you, it's the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. There is nothing like it. You have to experience it for yourself. But when you feel the thunder of 12 to 14 horses running right in front of you, you can feel the ground vibrate underneath your feet when they come flying by the home turn at any racetrack you're at. And it is an incredible thing to see and to feel, because you can see each horse out there trying their hardest to beat the others, and they love to run. They want to run. That is what they are bred to do, and they size each other up before the race is run. They know who's going to win. We never know, because the favorite loses 60% of the time. That's when you gamble. That's just the way that it works. But the horses know. They size each other up just like boxers do, or just like people when you walk in a room. They're more human-like than anyone could ever imagine. They all have their own unique personalities. So I'll share some pictures with you. So this is Rule He Will. Rule He Will is 12 years old now, I believe. He has ran 42 races. He has won 38 of those races. He's been retired 3 separate times, each time for a year, for having a different injury or a different surgery. Every time he makes a comeback, he wins every race that he runs. He's terrific. He's been Horse of the Year. We've won a lot of really cool things with him. My other favorite racehorse of all time is Cindy's Secret. She's the horse that my husband and I own. She's pregnant right now. She's in Utah. She has a 4-month-old baby on her by her side, and she's pregnant again with her next baby right now. But she made $262,000 in her career, and she ran for us for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and then we retired her. There's nothing wrong with her. But when a racehorse wins for you, and you know that it can either continue running, but when you have levels, it's like racing a car, or like when you get to certain levels with kids, I mean, you can't keep running through kindergarten over and over again. So you retire your good ones, and then you breed them so they can have babies, and then you can race more in the future. So that's what we do. We have 13 horses right now at the racetrack. We have, oh my goodness, let's see. We have horses in Utah. We have them in Northern California. We have them in Hemet. We have them in San Diego. They're absolutely everywhere. Jerry and his barn and his grooms and his team, they travel from racetrack to racetrack throughout Southern California. So the meet's in Del Mar right now. So they're down there with their horses at Del Mar, and then they come back to Santa Anita. Then they go to Los Alamitos, and the circuit just runs year round. That's why we're grateful in California, because we can race year round. But racehorses are a lot of fun. It's not one of those things where you get in and go, oh, I'm going to make $1 million. If you want in, go in with a friend, do a partnership, get a syndicate, do something so it's cheaper for you. But it's more fun than you could ever imagine, because you're able to get into any racetrack across the country for free. Once you have an owner's license, you can bring your friends and family anytime, and you just get treated like royalty the entire time you're there. So it's always so much fun. So that's all I have to say about horse racing. Thank you.